Okay, everybody, I want to just welcome Massimo. This is a Blackmore Connect success story. And Massimo is based in Italy. Let's start off with Massimo. If you could introduce yourself and your background and how you know us.
Hello, Gerald. It's good to be here. Well, my background I've been working in international, especially in North America for 20 years, in medical devices and pharmaceutical for diagnostics, as a, let's say, country leader and global marketing head let's say, uh, multinational companies. As you know, I started to work with you guys probably during the COVID time.
Yeah.
I started to embark with the private equity part and your training and the introductions and the meetings. So I learned so much interacting with you guys, interacting with the private equity, and then I actually embark in leading as a CEO a joint venture for a sort of new co in Italy for two, let's say, international companies in packaging. Actually, is a little, but packaging for pharmaceutical companies. So for me, it's been very interesting. Now I'm entering the mindset of, how do you call what is my job is to grow this company and to make it successful in a very challenging but interesting environment, which is the pharma packaging for aerosol and spray pumps. So I think all what I learned from you guys was very useful and in
Let's talk
framing.
about that. So, what was your experience with private equity beforehand, and what was your perception about private equity, and how did the Blackmore Connects group help you bridge that gap? So, tell us about your history and what you knew about private equity beforehand.
Actually, before I didn't know too much before you guys. Most of the things I learned was due to your trainings. And what I knew is that was interesting for a profile of for my profile, like for a person which has an executive expertise in the world of corporations, to embark after 25 years experience in see how this experience could be leveraged by private equity firm which has a sort of mission with a specific focus or need to provide a story, so to say, a mission to some entities to invest in these entities. In this in this case, so it's more the mindset of, I would say, the mission to grow for a time limited, which can be, I mean, 3, 5 years.
Mhm.
Ad, adventure which leverage your, let's say, assets, your executive skills, your capacity to framing a success story and to build up a successful team to run a mission, so to say. This is the mindset that you introduced me for a private equity world, so to say.
Yeah. And so, what would you say was useful about the Blackmore Connects approach in getting you ready for private equity? And what coaching would you give executives who are listening to this and are going, why do I need this? I'm a great exec already,
I
What's
think
different?
what you do very well is you build this. You help us build the storytelling in focusing on engaging a private equity. So why somebody should give you uh, give us the chances really based on how we craft our product for this
Yep.
world.
Mhm.
And I think you do it very well between the training, the videos, the documents, the approaches, the pitch book quest, targeting the private equity, thinking what you should say to them, think about the value story that you can build. In my And then, of course, the homework to find the companies is also another one. In this case, I would say this part I was is something I was going to pursue more and more, and I was somehow lucky that I managed through my networks, which anyway leveraged the fact what I learned from you when I got interviews for this position with the two companies. I leveraged my pitch.
Yeah, you did.
That
And
I
so
built.
talk more about that. How, what would you have done before Blackmore, and how you would position your brand versus after to this company that you're now in the pharmaceutical packaging space?
Oh well, that's funny. I don't know if I would have the same kind of rigor in pitching my, let's say, growth missionary
Yep.
framework. You asked me a difficult question. I'm
Yep.
sure that what I did was using the leverage of all the hours we spent together and the connections we perform with the private equity world with you. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I don't know what I would have done without you.
No, I get it. I get it. So, a lot of executives come into and meet us and go, "Hey, I'm a great executive. Why do I need to learn about private equity? I'm good enough." What would your advice be about Blackmore Connects? Is it the real deal? How is this a good investment?
Well, I think you are a good investment because you enables to really open up channels. You do two things. You help the executive to craft a product for this world with the attention of what they want to hear, and then you enable also uh, to invest in real life training.
Yep.
I would say because you practice your pitch and your story when you embark in talking to the private equity guys. With the real connections. I mean, you
Yep.
connect to real private equity companies, and uh, and so there is a. But you don't just introduce. It's not a date company which is just okay. Go date these private equities. Enjoy. You also say, okay, when you date these private equities, are you ready? What is your story? Let me hear your story. Oh no, it's too long. This doesn't work. This would be better that you frame it this way. You are actually investing a lot of time to
Yep.
prepare. Also, because I think also you have a credibility issue that you need to perform for the private equity people. These people don't have time to waste. So if you present some executives, they need to be good products
Yeah.
for spending the time. So I think is a for you, your credibility both with the executive and the private equity is on the stake. It's money and time for everybody, and you do a great job, I believe.
Yeah. You really you make a great point. It's our reputation as much as the executive. We want the executive to be great
Yeah.
because our back end, the cost of a conference, 1,000 to 3,000, depending on how many conferences you get, is minuscule compared to our back end if we do it great, right? Our goal is to get you ready to private equity, and we get a piece of that back end because the front end is not enough to run. Uh, there's It's like a great sales guy. He likes the salary, but he wants the big bonuses. He wants that big winning of the money.
But also, you would not be able to run this conference over time if a private equity company would say, "What are you still going to the Blackmore meeting? Come on, you never find these people as losers." I mean, that's
Right. Exactly. No, yeah, our goal is, and that's part of what we've done such a great job, and the team members here is building a brand where private equity come to expect a high level of quality with the executives come, and that's because of all that the work that we do. Massimo, we've made some changes since you last were here. We now have 6 pre-conference workshops and
okay.
3 post-conference workshops, and then of course the conference during the day. So workshops, and which were working in a big group on all the pieces that you need to know. And that has greatly improved the quality of the interactions that the executives have. So one of the things as we go about closing, for those of you watching this webinar, I want to invite you, after watching this, if you would like to be our guest at what we call the virtual conference light, it's a way of shadowing the conference without fully being in the conference. And so it's like an audit. You're auditing, seeing if the pathway is for you. Get in touch with me, gerald.o'dwyer@blackmorepartnersllc.com, and we'll get you in as a guest so you can see that this is the real deal. The people like Massimo are the real deal. Our process works for those that get involved with the process. So Massimo, I want to say thank you today for being here. And how can people get a hold of you if they have questions and they want to, we have a lot of Europeans who want to network. Are you open to having people network with you?
Yeah, of course. You can find my profile, of course, in LinkedIn, Massimo Carrara. I'm the CEO of RxPack. I'm pretty easy to find. I'm pretty visible on LinkedIn.
That's great.